Drinking Buddies, we have a very dusty episode today. A very special dusty episode. A Weller episode. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, Drinking Buddies. So, in one of these glass, we have a Weller Special Reserve from 1987. 90 proof, pretty darn cool. We have a OWA, an Old Weller Antique 107 from 1990. And because I want to compare them to a modern Weller product, I picked the best, what I think is probably the best modern Weller product that I have, and this is a Antique 107 pick. Now, it was between that and the Weller 12, but figuring those are younger products, I didn't want to compare them to, to an older product as far as age in the barrel. Obviously, these are older whiskeys. They're just not as long in the barrel as Weller 12. So why dusty? Well, first of all, the theory is they used to use better ingredients. So that could definitely be true. They were using better corn, better grains. Theory two, the oak that they used to use was older, meaning they let the trees mature longer, and so therefore when they chopped them down, you were using older oak to age this stuff in. Theory three, the longer the whiskey sits in a bottle, the angel share continues, and some of the alcohol is going to evaporate off without any flavor loss. So if you were to proof down a whiskey with water, you're going to lose some flavor. It's going to dilute it, but you're not diluting it by the process of the alcohol slowly evaporating over time. So yes, this 90 proof Weller Special Reserve could be in the 80s, probably is. And so therefore, but it still has the flavor that it had when it was put in the bottle in 1990. I think it's probably a combination of all three of those things, as well as the fact that this particular brand is so sought after because Stizel-Weller is a company that used to make whiskey and they don't anymore. And a lot of people say that's some of the best whiskey ever. And then others might even go so far as to say there's a reason they went out of business and Buffalo Trace does it better. Some people might say that. Now, before you throw me some hate in the comments, let's see what happens. Let's let the whiskey talk. Really like the nose on this one. This is a Weller nose. This is cherry. This is cinnamon. This is brown sugar. Hint of grape. Great fruity, super fruity palate. We got like grapes and cherries and strawberries. Long finish. Nice little tingle on the tip of my tongue. Boy, I tell you, that is a great whiskey. That is a great whiskey. We are starting off strong. Last two. Completely different nose. Well, I say that, and then I immediately got a little bit of a grapey thing. So there's grape here, but there's also butterscotch, cinnamon. This is like a fall pour to me. Almost pumpkin-y. Pumpkin spice vibes. Interesting. That is very vanilla, little butterscotch. Cornbread. Nowhere near as fruity as the first glass. This is more like desserty. This is like fruit you'd enjoy in the morning for like a crisp, fresh, healthy breakfast. And then this is the dessert you'd eat at 10 p.m. that you're going to regret the next day because it's so decadent. That's pretty good. This nose is dusty. This one's like wet basement, like wet tree stump, old books. Oh. Wow. That is a very bright, vibrant cherry. Like most of the time when I say cherry, I think like a dark, like cherry, like a fresh dark cherry, whereas this is more like a cherry candy, like a bright, citrusy cherry. Waxy almost, like a Swedish fish. Oh my gosh, it's Swedish fish. Well, this is going to be hard because I have 3 incredibly different whiskeys in front of me. Picking a favorite is going to be a challenge. I'm going to go through these again. When we come back, I'll rank them. All right, drinking buddies. So we have 3 excellent whiskeys up here. It was a big challenge to rank them because I think all 3 are excellent. I'm glad I chose an Antique 107 pick to go against these 2, because I think if I would have used regular 107 or regular Special Reserve or even CYPB or Weller Single Barrel, I think it would have dramatically lost to these 2 whiskeys. But I think that the Antique 107 picks are exceptional. They're my favorite of the Weller picks. I like them better than the Full Proof for the most part. There are 12 picks out there now, and yeah, I might have to sell my farm to buy one of those because I love Weller 12. You guys know I love Weller 12. It is one of the only whiskeys under 100 proof that I go to regularly. Nearly anything else under 100 proof, it's not my jam, but I love me some Weller 12. It's my favorite of the Weller line, and yeah, I love some good oak, you know? Anyway, I actually finished this one first, but it is my least favorite, and I finished it first because I just couldn't figure out what I thought about it. It's great whiskey, but these 2 are better. There's a really, really great nose on this one, and I liked what I got off the palate, but it's just, this one's better. I like the fruity components we got over here. I'm rambling, we got to reveal. This one is the Special Reserve Dusty. I kind of figured that might be the case because this one struck me as being lower proof. Very curious if I'm right about this one. Yep, that's the pick. All right, so that means that our favorite was the Weller 107 Dusty. Three great whiskeys. This was tough. Now, how can you get Dusty whiskeys? Well, you can start a YouTube channel and then people will give you samples. That is how I've gotten mine. You know, but there are also like a lot of ways out there on the internet to get them. But you do run a risk that you might be paying a lot of money for a bottle that was exposed to temperature abuse. You could be drinking whiskeys that could be, you know, counterfeit potentially. You could be paying a lot of money for a whiskey that you don't love. So I would consider that. And, you know, when you're buying something new on the shelf, you know you're getting a consistent product. Whereas if you're buying something from some grandma's basement that's been sitting in a bottle for 30 years, you could be buying something exceptional and you could be buying something that you might regret. I don't know anyone who's been bit by Dusties, so I suppose I should be saying that with a caveat. I own a couple myself and I think they're exceptional. I think it's a really cool thing to say, hey, this whiskey was just like this one right here, this whiskey that I just drank right here would have been distilled in 1980. That's freaking cool. This whiskey was distilled in 1980. This would have been distilled in like 1982 or 83. That's cool. That's freaking cool. So that's kind of why I think a lot of people gravitate towards them. You can kind of get maybe a bottle that is, you know, connected to your birth year, your birth date, that type of thing. And that's just fun. That's why I think people do it. Well, drinking buddies, I appreciate all of you. Every time you guys like the videos, every time you guys subscribe to the channel, you make this thing possible. Thank you very much for Mike for giving me these 2 Dusty samples. You are a legend. And man, I owe you something. I gotta hook you up with something awesome. Anyway, drinking buddies, thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.
I'm your drinking buddy.